What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and I'm back in the building for a brief recap of Iyanla Fix My Life, and this is with Hazel E. I been wanting to talk about this. I was excited when I saw that Hazel would be on Iyanla Fix My Life. I've always felt like Hazel E needed Iyanla Fix My Life. I'm not going to go blow by blow you guys into every little thing, that took place in the episode. I just want to point out a few things and go from there. First off, Iyanla talks to Hazel E's mother, and Hazel E, her real name is Erica. So anyway, she talks to her mother, and it turns out Hazel E's father is dead, and she never had a relationship with him. Hazel E's mother had her when she was about 17, and I believe her parents made her get married to the father. And she had even told Iyanla that she wouldn't have married the father, if she hadn't, ended up getting pregnant by him. Which right there, you're getting ready to have a baby with somebody you probably don't even love, and you got to get married. That right there is not the best foundation, because right there she was starting off with a lie. I'm just a big believer in not making people get married. I see what the parents was trying to do, trying to establish some stability, but that right there started the lie. Started, I believe, with Hazel E's mother lying to herself and, just going through life and not really letting herself feel emotions. And because when you have your parents telling you what to do, well, no, you go get married, you go have this baby, you go do this, you go do that, you're not really making decisions for yourself. And yes, she was 17. She wasn't grown yet. When you have that, though, your child ends up suffering because you never really grow up to know that, oh, it's okay for me to have emotions about this. It's okay for me to have emotions about that. It's okay, So right there, I already knew something was wrong with the mother. And I think what I walked away from the mother, especially in the beginning, was she really was there to kind of talk about Hazel E, or Erica as she calls her. She was there to discuss her life, not so much the part that she played. Because when we have children, our children will have some of our ways. It's only natural because they are around us the most. So when Hazel E comes on, she ends up talking to Iyanla, and Iyanla brings up the comment that Hazel E made on social media. And remember, she was talking about Masika and, some of the other girls that she's on the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood with. Y'all know since then she's been fired for saying these colorist statements, She called them, some ugly, dark, monkey butts. And she was pretty much saying, well, they're all dark and ugly. I'm light and my pretty ass. And, pretty much going off the whole thing of, oh, I'm light skinned, so I'm prettier than them already because I'm the light skinned one, which isn't true. And I think we live in that society where we believe all light-skinned women are beautiful, which is false, in my opinion. I don't think all light-skinned women are beautiful. It's that whole, oh, I'm so much better than you because I'm light-skinned. But my thing with Hazel is she's not that pretty to me, you guys. I know y'all like, damn, Brandy, here you come again, saying somebody ain't that cute. But she's not that pretty. Like, when you think of a light-skinned, beautiful woman, you think of Vanessa Williams, Nicole Ari Parker, Is Jada light skinned? I mean, back in the day, Jada Pinkett, Jada is a little bit darker, but y'all get what the fuck I'm saying. Beyonce, Solange, her sister, beautiful, And no disrespect to Hazel E, but she ain't that cute. She was talking about people that look better than her. The people like Tierra Marie and Masika, all of them, they look better than her. And they're not even that dark. But I guess it was some other girls, she was talking about as well. And it's just like, it was just an ignorant comment. What I did like about Hazel E was, even though she has made such ignorant comments, she did come on here with a sense of awareness that what she said was wrong. What she did was wrong. You could tell that, she got fired from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I don't think they really talked about that, but you could tell that she has lost some deals, with making this ignorant comment, which has made her really have to deal with the ignorant things she said and did. So she is really in a space of healing the negativity in her life and realizing it for what it is, and just seeing things for what it is. So I appreciated that, because a lot of people that come on Iyanla, they arguing with her, they combative, they don't want to listen, they think they know every damn thing. There was a sense of calmness with her, so I'll give her that. And Hazel E does look a lot better than what she did when she first got on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I think she had really low self-esteem. Y'all remember she was going with the Young Bird guy, and let me change that. She wasn't even with him. He wasn't claiming her. She just wanted to be with him so bad, and he kept dogging her and, dating her friends. And, that really broke her down. So I think with Hazel E, she has always, and you know what? Matter of fact, she reminds me a little bit of Khloe Kardashian in the sense of, I know I'm not all that pretty, but if I get the plastic surgery, if I do this, if I do that, then I'll fit in, then I'll feel beautiful, and that's kind of synonymous with Khloe dating these basketball players, because it's a part of who she is that she feels that needs to be completed and accepted by somebody that's high profile status. I remember I was listening to somebody on YouTube. I forgot who it was. And really quickly, I know we're not talking about Khloe. We're actually talking about Hazel, but they remind me of each other. I could just see something within them as far as their self-esteem. The person, anyways, on YouTube had said that Khloe uses a lot of the Snapchat filters to make herself beautiful. And, when you see a person doing that, when they get to the point where all their pictures are Snapchat and they need all these filters, that lets you know that even with the plastic surgery, even with getting tanned and losing weight, I still don't feel pretty. I'm still not that beautiful. I'm still, not that girl. And I see the same thing with Hazel. Even though Hazel looks better now, her nose and stuff, it looks better. She looks more attractive, I'll give her that, than she did, when she was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. But I think Hazel ran into at least I'm light-skinned, so I must be pretty. I gotta be better than these dark girls, they're darker than me, they're darker than the paper bag, I think she ran to that, and a lot of light-skinned women, they run into that. But in this episode was interesting because once again, we have the whole light skin, dark skin situation going on, which is, big in the black community. And to be honest with you guys, I don't think it will ever go away. We dealt with it in slavery. You had the masters, the masters fucking the slaves and, giving them mixed babies. And, that's a lot of how, the light-skinned race came to be, unless you were born to some white people. So, yeah, that was just very interesting. It was also interesting how Iyanla had Hazel E saying her lyrics to Dorothy Dandridge, to Harriet Tubman. That was just, I don't know. It was just like, wow, do you really hear what you are saying to these women that really opened the doors for you, Hazel? Do you really get the shit that you said and how disgusting it is and how disrespectful it is? All these women went through hell for you. Hazel E. also shares with Iyanla that she was abused by her mom's boyfriend and that her mom was also hit by the boyfriend as well. She also shares with Iyanla about a childhood trauma that, she went through. And what was interesting is when she began speaking about it, she says to Iyanla, "Oh, that's something I'm not supposed to talk about." And I'm looking like, who told you couldn't talk about it? And I bet you it was the mother, And before I get off into that, it's just very interesting what we tell our children when we don't want to deal with things. When, like with me as a parent, I really try to empathize with my daughter. Sometimes she may come home and say she's teased or, somebody said this or did that. I really just try to listen to her, be empathetic, tell her what to say back, tell her to tell the teacher. I really try to become a little girl with her in that moment. I remember being a child and I would tell my mother that stuff. And I don't remember my mother really she wasn't the way that I am with my daughter. And I remember when I became a parent, I said I would do things differently. I really want to hear my daughter and hear what she's saying, because it's hard being a child. You don't have a voice. You're being told what to do at school. You're being bullied and disrespected, and you're being silenced. And, and it's just like, as a parent, you have to care about what your child goes through. You have to be there to hug them, love them through it, not just say, oh, well, ignore them or, just let it roll off your back. Well, no, I'm not going to help you change that so they won't make fun of you. Oh, no, you really have to be there for your child. And Hazel, even though her mother was there for her, she was neglected. She was. So Iyanla brings up the fact that her mother, Hazel E's mother, instructed her not to talk about her sexual violation. And when we are taught to keep things in secret, to keep things and be ashamed about them, we're doing ourselves a disservice, and we are participating in the dysfunction. And really quickly, you guys, before I get off into that, I've had people come at me about different things I may have put in my book about my own life. And I've had people say, well, why would you share all of that? You should be ashamed of that. I'm not ashamed of nothing I've ever did, nothing that I've ever went through. I will always use the things in my life that I've been through to help other people. That's what you are supposed to do. And when you are able to speak your truth, that means you are not ashamed of yourself. When you have motherfuckers that keep secrets and, oh, well, let me try to put on this image, they're so scared of seeing themselves for who they really are. They are so scared to see and to speak their own truth of the things that has happened to them. So I can't pay attention to that. I will always live and speak my truth. And that's what Iyanla tells Hazel E. That's what she needs to do. Because even though this happened a long time ago, Hazel E. is acting out the dysfunction. And I feel like that's what has kept me grounded for years, is just being aware that certain things was a part of my life at one point, and it's not in my life now because I have grown bigger and better, So that's what Iyanla is trying to tell Hazel E. So Hazel E shares with Iyanla that, she was pretty much raped, when she was 5. And it was a woman, that did that. I'm not sure, was it 2 women? But yeah, she was definitely raped. And that is sad for a child to have to hold that in and not speak that. So that right there, that lets me know about her dysfunctional behavior and probably where a lot of that comes from. Hazel E says that her mom is very conservative, and even when her mom was being beat, she would put a lot of makeup on over her black eyes. She would just, if she had a busted lip, tons of lipstick over it. So Hazel E learned very early on to hide the pain, not deal with it, but hide it, cover up, act like it don't exist. But when we try to hide the pain, it shows up in other ways. You know what I'm saying? It could show up in your daughter or whoever being promiscuous. It could show up with, you being on crack, or you being an alcoholic, or you not taking care of your kids, you getting your kids taken away from you, you just giving up your kids, or just neglecting your kids. Do you see what I'm saying? Where the pain from any life situation, how it can just change us if we don't properly deal with it. So that's why it's important, you guys that listen to me, if you are parents, please do yourself service and your kids a service. Listen to them when they're being bullied, or if they are ever abused sexually, mentally, emotionally. Don't just think that, oh, it's not physical, so ain't no big deal. Don't be one of them parents to sweep that shit under the rug. Listen to your child. Cry with your child. Because when you do that with them, what you're saying is, I am here. I am present with you. I have your back. What Hazel E's mother did, and she didn't know any better, and she admits that, later in the episode, she didn't know any better. She was young. She didn't know what to do, which is fine, because she was ignorant, and maybe her mother didn't teach her, But what I'm saying is, you have to be there in the moment with your child when they're going through stuff. Don't tell them to just cover it up and never speak their truth and never, because this is what happens. It's going to show up. It's going to come up in some kind of way in their adult life. It's going to show up with picking out the wrong boyfriend. It's going to show up with her getting pregnant, being a teen mom. It's going to show up with the bad grades. It's going to show up with the low self-esteem and the overeating and undereating, just skipping meals. It's going to show up. So you got to learn to deal with these things when you are dealing with your children. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. It makes you are a participator in life. You are right there in the moment with your child dealing with this. That way you don't have to deal with a drug addict later, or an alcoholic, because they've been suppressing the pain so much because you told them to be quiet and don't speak their truth. So that has happened to Hazel. So Hazel E realized with her mom, putting the lipstick on and the makeup on after she was beaten and abused, she was simply trying to maintain an image, trying to just act like everything is okay. And I say this all the time, you guys. There's a lot of women out here. I've been talking about it a lot recently on my Real Housewives of Atlanta videos. I talk about the foster care system, and a lot of women come from that. If you notice, and you probably work with some of these women, or just know them, or maybe they are in your family, but a lot of these women, their primary goal in life, and we see it all the time on Facebook, let me get my hair done, my nails done, I'm going to have the best shoes, the red bottoms, the Jordans, I'm going to have all this. But yet, they'll go and do all this external shit, and then they won't get their shit together spiritually, personally. They still can't find the right man, because they still ain't the right woman, but they think buying all these external things is making them a better woman, and it's not. You still the same woman. You still haven't worked on yourself. So when I look at Hazel E, it's interesting that she is a lot like her mother. She's still trying to maintain an image because she is so hurt from all the pain that she's been through. And it was very interesting when Iyanla said to her, she asked her a question. She said, were you sheltered or were you just silenced? Because there is a difference. And I feel like Hazel E was silenced. Her mother taught her to just be quiet. Just go along and act like stuff didn't happen. Sweep it under the rug. We cannot do that to our children. We fail them when we do that. So Iyanla ends up talking to Hazel E's mom. And of course, she's older now. A lot of times when women get older, even men, they set in their ways. They don't really want to hear certain stuff. They are in denial. They are not open. Her mother in particularly, she kept mentioning how they moved, and Hazel was like, yeah, we moved 3 times. And then here go the mother, oh, but we moved up. I bought that townhouse, and then Iyanla was like, but mama, you had her move. So there was instability. The mother was very defensive, didn't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Then it was interesting that Iyanla asked the mother, she said, well, your daughter was sexually abused growing up. Did you know about it? I already knew when she answered that she was lying. And Hazel said, Mama, you remember I told you it was the girls, the 2 black girls. And Iyanla was just like, well, is that what they was black? Okay, so why did you call them out to be black? And then Iyanla said, were they dark skinned? And Hazel was like, yeah. And then Iyanla was like, okay, now this all makes so much sense. You're acting out towards all the black women in the world, the dark-skinned women, because of what happened to you in your childhood. You've always probably had something against dark-skinned women because of what happened to you in your childhood, which is true. A lot of times we can get triggered by things that happen in our childhood, and that'll cause us to go off on people now because of what happened when we were young. And when we were young, we didn't have a voice. We was either told to shut up or be silent or get over stuff. And now that we're older, we want to speak out about it and lash out and talk shit and talk down on people. So that is what Hazel E has done. And Iyanla asked the mother, well, do you remember her telling you that she was sexually abused, raped, by the girls? And the mother said, she may have, but, for me, it was such a long time ago. And I really felt my heart break for Hazel E when I heard the mother say that. No emotional support at all. None. So many mothers in the world, they really think that all it is to be a mother is to be able to be a provider. You can be a provider and not emotionally be there for your child and still neglect your child. You can still neglect your child. So many narcissistic mothers out in the world, you guys. I'm not calling her mother a narcissistic, but that is the first word that comes to mind, because so many mothers are caught up in their own little world. They don't even care about their child being raped or being able to sit within that. Hazel E's mother had she didn't bust out crying. She didn't hold Hazel's hand or say, baby, I'm so sorry that happened to you. She swept it under the rug. And when we do that, we do our children a disservice. We're saying to ignore your feelings. Pretend your feelings don't exist. Get over it. It ain't that big of a deal. Or it was so long ago. That is so wrong, you guys. Don't ever do that to your children. Because right there, you are destroying their future. You think that you trying to help them get over some shit? You got more shit to help them get over in the future. Because they go fuck their life up because they can't properly get emotional support from you when shit happens. They're being told to sweep the shit under the rug. That's not natural for a child. They feel violated. They feel hurt. They feel scared and afraid. They need their mom to be there. Not just pay the bills. Bitch, that's a given. I know about all this all too well, you guys. I know all too well about, when you're dealing with a mother that just sweeps stuff under the rug and just don't care. Just, oh, that was a long time. Oh, it ain't that big of a deal. Oh, why you mad over that? That ain't nothing. They can complain about what they complain about, but you ain't supposed to have no feelings. That is abuse. I know it don't sound like it, but it's abusive to deal and talk to your child in that way. And Iyanla notices the mother, and she pretty much calls her out and says, you are totally unaware of what you do, how you dismiss and deny this girl's feelings. Iyanla started screaming at her, pretty much telling her, somebody violated your baby girl. And your ass up here, you trying to figure out where you live at and where would y'all stand. And, and the mother just sitting there looking. That's that sweeping shit under the rug. And thinking that, oh, I'll deal with it later or I won't deal with it at all. And if I don't deal with it at all, it doesn't exist. It does exist. She is responsible for Hazel's behavior. Remember, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. The mother lies and says, well, at that time, we handled it. First off, bitch, who was we? And then second off, Iyanla called you out again and said, I thought you told me you didn't remember. Do you see how people are, how fickle they are? Because they want to remember all the good in their life that they did, but they don't want to talk about the shit that they ignored and the shit that they swept under the rug and put off to the side. But Hazel E's mother is not a special case. This happens a lot in the black community. It can happen in any community, honestly, but I've seen it so many times in the black community. I have. There's a nonchalant attitude of I don't care. That happened a long time ago. Get over it. Get a better job. Just, I don't know what to tell you, So Iyanla pretty much, again, talks to the mother about apologizing to Hazel E for, getting pregnant at 17 and exposing her to all the violence and, everything that she's been through in her childhood. And she's just like, have you ever apologized? And the mother said no. And I don't think I should apologize for giving her life. And Iyanla is like, no, it's not so much a sorry, but it's more or less you chose to have her and still this is the life you gave her. You know what I'm saying? And I really felt where Iyanla was coming from. She's just like, you need to rectify this situation. You sat up there and tried to act like you didn't remember. How the hell you don't remember that your baby girl was sexually assaulted? Like, how do you not remember that? That's a problem, and the mother is just sitting there looking at her and, just so out of touch, and it's so sad. So basically, Iyanla talks with Hazel E and just pretty much lets her know that everything that you went through in the past that you were not able to deal with, where your mother was not there for you, all of that stuff is showing up now. Those dark girls that your mother trusted, they betrayed her trust. They betrayed your trust. And she asked Hazel E a question. She said, and what do you do when you don't have a voice? You act a motherfucking fool. Okay, you act like a lunatic. And Hazel E admitted that, and she received that. And that, to me, was very powerful, because that's true. That's how a lot of people act. Because a lot of people think that negative attention it's still attention to them, so they don't mind doing it. And they act a fool, And And that's the thing with Hazel. Another thing I liked in the episode was how Iyanla had some women on the light-skinned side, which is Hazel E and her mother, and then she had women on the dark-skinned side, and they were both talking to each other, you know, one dark-skinned, one light-skinned woman, you know, talking to each other about their experiences with each other, which I felt was very important. I just really love seeing that, because you really need to do that. And Hazel E left there feeling accepted by her dark-skinned sisters, and, you know, people that said that they was going to be her friend and call her, check on her. And, you know, I believe everything is going well with Hazel E. So this was a very good episode. Very good episode. But what stands out to me the most, you guys, is what I've been saying throughout this whole podcast, is to, when your children have issues in their life, you know, maybe being bullied at school, abused, raped, whatever it is, please, as a parent, deal with it at the moment. Hug them, hold them. If you don't know what to say, call and get some help. Just pray with them. Do something. Do not tell them, well, don't tell nobody, and sweep it under the rug and act like it didn't happen, because it's whatever you think you're getting away from, you're making worse for a later date in both of you all's life. It's going to show up in their behavior as they get older, is what I'm saying. All right, you guys, that's pretty much what I have to say on that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It is your girl, Brand New, and I am out.